I have a couple of stories I want to share with you, but first I want to tell you if you can imagine this, telling stories is a lot like childbirth. Now, for you that haven't had childbirth or have no idea what I'm talking about, it's an intensely painful experience. And then after time you go, that wasn't bad. Let's do it again. Because your husband's looking at you like, are you out of your mind? So, my first experience was telling at the Boys and Girls Club in Kansas City, and there's several. I'm not exactly sure what the location was, but I had been warned that there was a train and had heard many stories of like the train at Jonesboro and what other tellers had done. And it was suggested that you can't compete against a train. It's going to win every time. So when the train is coming by and making that noise, just stop. It's like, okay, I can do that. I can remember that. So I'm telling my story and a train is coming and I just freeze. And then when the train is passed, I keep telling and the kids are fascinated because there was a lot of trains that day. The fact that I would just freeze in mid-sentence and then finish when the train had passed. So they were just keeping an eye on me and totally not paying attention to their teacher was trying to dismiss them. And they would call their name, but they weren't listening to anything. They were just listening to me. The teacher had to come in, tap them on their shoulder and say, "Hey, your ride's here. It's time to go." So that wasn't too bad because I had been warned there will be trains. This is what you do. But another experience that I had that I hadn't really been warned about is Gary was doing the Heart of America Shakespeare Festival green room. He was hired to tell whatever show they were producing in 30 minutes with audience participation, maybe whether it was Romeo and Juliet or whatever. And so I'm sitting in the audience because I'm going to see the show later and I'm just watching him. And my phone goes off. Oh my goodness. It was so quiet. It just sounded like, really loud ring. And I'm trying to reach in my purse. I cannot find it in my purse. So I just stand up and run. And Gary goes, "That's my wife." And the last story I want to tell with you, because I was thinking, things normally go well with storytelling. I had taken several storytelling as a business classes and so I knew that when I was contacted to tell a story that I would send them a confirmation email and send them a contract that I as the storyteller will for you the sponsor on this day and this place and this time do this and whatever kind of stories they wanted. And so I had my signed contract. I had everything that I thought I needed. And so then I realized, oh, there's always so many doors. I wanted to make sure which door I was. So I called the contact person the day before. And I said, "Hey, I just want to make sure which door do I need to go in? Because I can't tell what's the front door." And she replied with, "Oh, I don't work for them anymore." "Oh, you're not working for them anymore." She's the one who'd signed my contract, and I'm going, "Well, are you canceling?" And she goes, "Oh, no, no, they're still expecting you. Go ahead." So I showed up, went to the receptionist and said, "This woman who I know doesn't work there anymore had hired me to come and tell stories." And she goes, "Oh, yes, yes, you're on our calendar. Yes. Go on upstairs." And so they took me, I did my performance, and when I was finished, I went down to the receptionist. I said, "Here's my invoice." And she said, "Okay, thank you." And she goes, "I see that we've booked you for next month and the month after that." I said, "That's right." She had signed me up for 3. Do you still want me to come? Yes. So The next month, I show up at the agreed time and I start, and another performer comes in, realizes I'm on the stage and just kind of backs off until I'm finished. And then they start after me. And his response was, I thought I was the 2 o'clock time. And I said, well, my contract said, I'm doing the two. It's like, okay. Went back down to the receptionist, gave her another invoice, hadn't been paid for the first. So I asked her, I said, well, how does this work? Because I haven't been paid for the first. And she goes, oh, well, we have your invoice. We just give it to the finance department. And I'm like, okay, that has been done, but I still haven't gotten paid. So I looked up the finance department and I called and I said, hi, I'm Linda Kuntz, a storyteller, and I've already done 2 of the 3 shows that I was contracted for. I have a signed contract. How am I going to get paid? And she was like, well, you have to be one of our vendors. You have to be a recognized vendor to get paid. And I'm going, okay, how do I become a recognized vendor? Well, we use a third party vendor. Okay, what's their contact information? So she gave it to me and I contacted them and explained the situation that I've already done 2 out of the 3 shows for this particular business. And how was I going to get paid? And they said, oh, well, they have to give you the vendor number and then you have to go online and fill out our form and then we'll cut you a check. Okay. I called them back. You need to give me a vendor number. Okay. And I didn't hear anything back. So I drove there and knocked and says, excuse me, I'd like to talk to the lady in finance. Oh, nobody's allowed back here. And I said, well, have her come out here. So she came out and was like, what can I do for you? I've done 2 out of 3 shows. I want to be paid. I was told I needed a vendor number and then to go through this third party vending company. Give me the number that I need. And so she was like, okay. So I wasn't leaving without that number. So she gave me the number and I went home and I inputted it and everything worked. I had a vendor number. They accepted me. Well, then they wanted me to submit all of my invoices at once. I said, oh, I could do that. It's on the computer. I'll get it to you. I finished in the meantime, the 3rd show, had sent stuff off to the vendor, still hadn't gotten paid. So as I was leaving, this bright and cheerful lady bounced up to me and said, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm her replacement, the lady who no longer worked there. Can you do a show in October? And I just lost it. I just cracked up laughing. And she goes, oh, you haven't been paid yet. I said, well, not only have I not been paid, but you're asking me to do a show for October. I'm booked. I don't have any openings. And I said, you don't call somebody a week's notice to hire them. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, here's my card. If you want me to come back, I will, but you're going to have to give me more notice than that. So eventually I was paid. It only took 6 months. And I haven't told you who they are to protect the guilty, but also, you never know. They may hire me again.